Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and in this video we're going to do a comparison of two Redmi smartphones under the same series, the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max with the Redmi Note 9 Pro. So these two phones have a lot of similarities, including the display, the processor, the battery capacity, but they are also different in a lot of other aspects. So what are the differences? Which is better device to buy? That's what we are going to compare in this video. So let's get started. So if you're first time on this channel, do hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. So now coming to the comparison. So these two devices have a lot of similarities, including the display size, the processor, but what are the differences and which is better here? First step, let's have a look at the design and build quality. Now, if you look at the design aspect of these two phones, you can see that they're exactly the same, no difference whatsoever. The only difference here is the camera. We have the 64 megapixel mentioned here, while this has a 48 megapixel camera. So that's the only difference in terms of the camera unit. Now if you look at the front panel, again no major difference here. In fact, no difference at all. Both have the same display size, both have the same display, punch hole cameras. The bezel size is also exactly the same. Both have the fingerprint scanner on the power button. So there is no difference in terms of the design and build quality. So both are made of glass finishing and both have the Gorilla Glass protection. Now next, let's talk about the software. So both the devices run on the same MIUI 11. Now if you go to the settings panel, you can see that here we have the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max has 11.0.2 on top of Android 10, while we have 11.0.6 on top of Android 10. So literally there's no major difference, exact same UI, same features being offered. No changes whatsoever. So again, this is the tie. So again, nothing much to differentiate between these two devices in terms of the software experience. Now performance. So both run on the Qualcomm Snapdragon 720G. Again, exact same performance you get, the same gaming experience. So we're not going in detail because both give you the same experience with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 720G. Now battery performance, again both are same with the 5000 mAh, in fact 5020 mAh capacity battery, both giving you almost same battery life, exact figure almost closer to 10 hours, 8 to 9 hours is easily gettable on these two devices. So what is the difference between these two devices? Why the price difference? So now one of the important things about these two phones is the camera. So there is a major difference in terms of the camera. So we have a 64 megapixel Samsung GW1 sensor on this device, while we have the Samsung's GM2 sensor, that's a 48 megapixel sensor on the Redmi Note 9 Pro. So that's one major difference. Apart from that, if you look at the selfie camera, this Redmi Note 9 Pro Max has a 32 megapixel selfie camera, while you get a 16 megapixel shooter on the Redmi Note 9 Pro. So that's the difference. So apart from that, both the cameras are quite similar. Both have the 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, 5 megapixel macro sensor and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Now if you look at the camera samples taken with these two devices, so this is one area where we felt that the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max did a better job here. A couple of things. One is the saturation issues was there on the Redmi Note 9 Pro. We mentioned this in our camera review as well. There are saturation issues on the Pro Max as well, but when you compare with these two devices, we felt that the overall quality in terms of daylight experience was better on the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max. Portrait shots, the macro shots and also the ultra wide angle camera looked quite similar. Now when it comes to low light experience, that's where again the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max takes the lead, with the 64 megapixel Samsung GW1 sensor does a better job than the 48 megapixel sensor, and both have night modes and both does a pretty good job here. But again, the overall experience was better on the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max. Now if you look at the selfie camera, while there is a 32 megapixel selfie camera on the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max, the Pro gets the 16 megapixel shoot. Again, selfies are quite similar on both the phones. Again, the selfies are more of a personal choice. You can decide based on these images which actually looked better for you. Both did a quite good job here. Now another major difference between these two devices is the charging. So now we have a 33 watt charging charger on the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max, while we have a 18 watt charger on the Redmi Note 9 Pro. So that's where the difference comes in. While the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max charges the 5020 mAh capacity battery in around 70 minutes, it takes almost 2 hours, that's 120 minutes plus on the Redmi Note 9 Pro. So that's the major difference, almost double the charging time. In fact, it's not exactly double, but it's still almost double the charging time on the Redmi Note 9 Pro. Now apart from that, the base variant is 4GB RAM on the Redmi Note 9 Pro, while it's a 6GB RAM variant on the Pro Max. So these are the three major differences between these two devices. So now which one should you buy? Now if you look at the pricing, the Redmi Note 9 Pro variant, the base variant is now priced at 12,999 on Flipkart. In fact, it was pricing was increased to 13,999, 14,000 rupees. But now it is actually selling for 12,999. Now while the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max retails for 16,500, so almost 2,500 difference if the pricing is 14,000, and if it is in fact selling for 13,000, there is a 3,500 rupees difference between these two devices. So should you really go with the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max? We would say it isn't necessary to go with the Pro Max. The Pro does a really good job with the battery capacity, the battery performance, the overall experience. The camera is also quite good. Now the cameras are quite good on the Redmi Note 9 Pro as well. But if you want a slightly better experience, then only you should be going with the Pro Max. Also, charging definitely is faster on the Pro Max, but then most of us charge during the night time, and that doesn't make much of a difference. In fact, the 33 watt charger is something which is really good, but even with 18 watt charger, it doesn't make much of a difference if you're charging during the night. So that additional pricing, almost 2,500 or 3,500 rupees pricing, you should be actually looking at the Redmi Note 9 Pro, which is a really good device at this price segment, especially with the camera setup, the overall experience. It feels quite good. The looks are exactly the same. So if you're not really worried about the camera aspect, both the selfie as well as the rear camera, you should be definitely looking at the Redmi Note 9 Pro, which does a really good job overall with overall good experience. So that is a detailed comparison of the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max with the Redmi Note 9 Pro. So hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the red subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.